She leaves the anchor hold, for the ship is bound. The anchor hold, for the sails are torn. I have fallen on my knees as a face raging sea. The anchor hold, in spite of the storm. I can't wish more. I had dreamed I've even held them in my hand, but I never knew they would slip right through, like they were only grains of sand. The anchor hold of the ship is bound. The anchor hold, though the sails are torn.
Somebody came in. Remember, you gotta say hi. And say we are. Nope, they left. They saw me and said, ah!
The raging sea, in spite of the storm.
Hey! Popping in and out. What kind of job How you doing, buddy? Listen, Nick, I really want you to pay attention to this first. I'm sorry, choking up already. First part, because I know you're out there making deliveries and things, and I really, really, really need you to make this up. There's a reason why I'm showing it.
Though the sails are torn,
I would like that one. I'm not leaving.
I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas and the hope. Spite of the storm, I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas and the hope.
Gotcha, I like that.
I made my choice. You can mark this day.
I love this one.
day I pledge to take his name. I will be strong, I will be brave, standing for him as I take my place.
There we are.
I felt the spirit
We got about
burn
3 minutes.
truth in my heart.
Sort of.
It's
We'll let
in
her finish.
my heart. And I will stand, I will not fall in a world that's weak. I will be strong. I'll be true. I will choose his way. I know what's right, and I will not change in a world where so many will not. I will. I may be one, but one becomes two when you stand with me and I stand with you.
I don't know if this is going to work.
As we unite, our cause is great. We're not just the candle, we are the flame. I will take the light it gives me, and I'll hold it up high. I'll hold it up high. I will stand, I will not fall in a world that's weak. I will be strong. I'll be true. I will choose his way. I know.
Still there, Nick?
Right,
Haven't seen you respond. Maybe your computer's here. You're not. You've popped out. You can get arrested for that.
I will stand, I will not fall in a world that's weak. I will be strong. I'll be true. I will choose his way. I know
Got the tools?
what's right, and I
You need a big piece of flip like this. You can get it in any office supply. They buy a bunch of them. Amazon. I went to the bank this morning. I haven't touched it. You got a 10 and you got 10 ones. I want you to do this, Nick. You never go out for deliveries again until you put this in your front left pocket. Unless you're left-handed, then put it in your front right pocket. All right, let me get rid of that because it is time. So we go here and we get rid of you. And I come back here, calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast. The movie tonight is called The Car. Whoa! It does have James Brolin before he became a big star. So, if you're interested in that, but no. We've got a couple of things lecture-wise to talk about today. And of course, seeing one person is always disappointing, especially when I'm going to show something really important. This first thing is for your entire life. Now, let me start here for everybody, Nick. First off, when we decide that we need to be responsible for our own personal protection, I know the left hates that concept. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to tell mom and dad, and they'll take care of that. You don't do it. You're a vigilante. It's leftist claptrap. I can't tell you how many elementary school principals' desks I had to stand on as we discussed their no hitting policy. They're supposed to go get a teacher. And when I would ask the principal, well, but if your other student is punching my student in the face, he's supposed to stand there and get hit? Well, no, he should run away, or he should call a teacher, or just hold on to him. And I said, well, let's try your experiment. Let me grab you by the tie and pull you over the desk and start punching you in the face. And you can go ahead and scream for help. And let's see how long it takes them to get here. But you don't get to hit me. You've got to sit there and take it. Of course, they'd get all mad. And I'd say, my students aren't going to do that. They will not stand there and be beaten. If you want to fight this, I will make it a media event. The newspapers will be here. You'll be talked about on the radio. You pick it. But they hate the concept. But the reality, Nick, anybody else listening to this, you have to be responsible for your own protection. So let's put this on the table. The idea that the average person can use unarmed martial arts to defend themselves in a real world violent personal assault, that's bullcrap. The reason why everybody all over the world uses guns is, you got to be careful because YouTube may get mad. This is a Taurus G2C. It is a 9mm, 13-shot carry weapon. If I'm really going out, this sucker is with me. Normally, I just have the 38 in the pocket. This is an amazing holster. Looks wide open, doesn't it? Somebody can come up and steal my gun. No, they can't. You got to know to grab the gun and push this button. Then it comes out. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. Like that little green dot in the front sight. It's fiber optics. Put them in myself. But the point, Nick, it doesn't matter who pulls that trigger. That 126 grain 9mm round is going to go zipping out of there at around 1,200 feet per second. It's going to hit with about 700-800 foot-pounds of force, no matter who pulls the trigger. That's a consistent result. But you don't want to shoot anybody. There's pepper spray. If you get a good spray, usually it works. My real recommendation, but you've got to have a ice cube for a heart. This is a Cold Steel Leatherneck Mini. Inside this sheath. Now, that's not even 3 inches. In pretty much every jurisdiction, this is a legal knife. It is clearly only single-edged. It is clear. It's got the tonal point. And what I love about it, do you see this back end and how flat it is? I can put my thumb right on that, and my hand is not going to slip. And I guarantee you, with that point, I start popping you in the face, you're going to just get dissuaded from messing with me. But here's the problem. And I'm abbreviating this for this form. I'm going to go over on Reality Check and do the whole thing. When you defend yourself, no matter how you do it, in the old days of Michigan football, when we had Bo Schembechler here, Bo did not like passing the ball. He was known for saying, when you pass the ball, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. You're either going to be incomplete, you're going to be intercepted, or they're going to catch the pass. He hated it. When you defend yourself, there's 3 possibilities. 2 of them are bad. Either what you did wasn't strong enough and the guy kicks your butt anyway. It worked. It worked so well, the other guy died. In the industry, we call this a continuum of force decision. I should not have to say that trained, experienced police officers mess that decision up all the time. You think, poor you, now you're facing a life and death situation and you've got to make a forced decision? They indicted that poor guy on the subway in New York because a chokehold, like it or not, is considered deadly force. And they didn't consider what the guy doing applicable to deadly force. So it stands to reason we need some way to be able to clearly show in court that this guy was trying to hurt me, break bones, kill me. Nick, at our age, we cannot survive much of a butt whooping. With my heart and my feet and the diabetes and the weight, I can't get beat up like that. That would kill me. So how do we know? Are you there, buddy? I wish Conrad was here. I don't see him. You take this. This is the paperclip. Now, you take out your 20 bucks. 10 ones. And your $10 bill. With the ones, you fold them in half and you do it again. Do you see the wad? That goes right there. Now, you have to do this slowly and carefully. We are going to take the 10. I'm going to want to fold this corner where you see the 1 and the 0 right up to the 0 without going onto the 0 or being too far that way to the 0. So watch. I just turn it over and I actually see how I pull down and it rolls. I roll it into that position where the 10 is right there. And you want that edge of that 0 really close to the edge. And then I fold it and it's there. Now, do you see the 10 on that side? See what I did? Now, I can't look at you and the bill at the same time. Now, actually, I should have folded that just a little bit more. That way. You don't want any space in there because it'll look weird. But now, it looks like 100. And I take this and I go this way over the wad. And I put it so that fold is clipped. So now it looks like this. Now, I just realized it doesn't line up on the bottom, but your hand's going to cover that. You've got that in the left front pocket. Me, I got a pistol over here. But for this, we'll say I've got this knife over here on the right side. Somebody is confronting me in any sort of a way. I want to kick your ass. I want your money, whatever. You say, hey, and you slowly go in and get this. And you bring it out slowly so they can see, hey, you're bringing out money. And I turn it this way first so they see there's a bunch. This is all I've got. Take it. I toss it and I run this way. Let me say it again. I come out. They can see there's a bunch of money here. I say, look, this is all I got. And they can see the 100 and there's more. I literally toss it over to my left. Take it. And then I run this way. When I'm running this way, I am upgrading. I will get my hand on this and draw it while I'm running away. Or, because I'm licensed, as I'm running, this sucker's out. I'm not running the mile. I'm going to run about 20 to 30 feet. And then I plant step. Let's say you're right-handed, buddy. As you're running, when you decide to stop, you plant that right leg. And you turn back. And you sweep as you do. Only two things possible. Mickey the Moke went after the money. Then you get the hell out of there. Or Mickey the Moke is right there. Now follow me. If Mickey the Moke is right there in front of you, he didn't want your money, did he? And no jury in the world is going to say, oh, you didn't have a right to be afraid for your life. Because you're going to say, hey, stupid, he saw this. He could have had that, but he chased me. I feared for my life, and I defended myself. And when I turn, if he's there, he's getting a leatherneck in his eye. I am punching his face. If he pushes it and isn't backing off, I'm going to start whacking his neck, and he'll bleed out. With the firearm, I'm going to fire two and assess the damage. Nick, this is your entire life. Don't let it die. Okay? Any questions? I can see you're still here, buddy. Still there, Nick? And if you get the pistol like you said, and the pistol is on the right, this goes on the left. And if they're chasing you, not the money, it's time to put holes in people. Okay, let's go back to magic. This week I sent you the letter the guy got. It is a school show forum on Facebook, and magicians do not disappoint me. You read the letter. Basically, the lady wants a free show. And of course, if you go to the place, there's about, well, the last time I looked, there were like 26 responses, and they were all snide and they were all smartasses. Do it for the exposure. Oh, you can die from exposure. And all that kind of shit. Now, I didn't even post. I really wanted to say, guys, it's nice to see that you didn't disappoint me and you're still as arrogant and as stupid as you've been my entire life. Nick, this is the Lions Club of Center Line, Michigan. They're doing something about some after school program they're doing, and they do good work. They do things for glasses for kids who need them and blind kids and all that stuff. But either they don't have a lot of money and they don't spend a lot of money, or they don't want to. But Nick, first logical question: who makes up the Lions? Who is in the Lions Club? People who live in Center Line. Does it make sense, even though you may feel that that request is insulting and miswritten and all the crap the magicians say? How does it help you to be a smartass? Do you think they're going to say, oh, well, we were wrong. We shouldn't have asked for a free show? What is that lady going to do? She's going to tell everybody she works with the Lions, you're an asshole. Oh, God, you should see what he said. They're never going to say they were wrong. Ever. And I've seen this kind of answer and this kind of response for 30 flipping years. Well, 40 years ago, maybe more, because, oh God, it's almost 50. Burling Hull solved the whole thing. And this way, you're not a smartass. You may turn it into money, but you're going to leave them with a good taste in their mouth if they decide they need you for something else. So we're going to say it was Mrs. Smith who wanted a free 20, 30-minute show for the teens or whoever. I call Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith, this is Mark Tripp, the magician. Thank you so much for your call, and thank you for thinking of me. How are you doing today? Okay, I'm going to have to break it here. I'm sorry. I'll be back. Sorry. The second I feel it, now I go. Because I have no ability. Hold it. Ouch. Okay, we go back. Mrs. Smith, I see that you're looking for a performance on July 9th at 12:30 in the afternoon at your youth hall or whatever. But you don't have much of a budget. Let her talk. Let her explain why. Don't cut them off. You're not going to do it for free, but let them talk. Well, Mrs. Smith, first off, you guys are like 57 miles from me, and that's one way. When I did it on MapQuest, it says that I should expect the auto expense one way. You plug it into MapQuest and read what it says. That it's going to be $120 each way. I'm sorry, but there's no way I can swallow that kind of an expense. But let me ask you a question. Do you have a number of members in your club? Do you have some business owners in your club? Well, Mrs. Smith, normally my price to come out there and do a 30-minute show would be $300 or $295, whatever you want to say. Here's my thought. Why don't you contact 3 of your business owner members and ask them to donate $50 for the show? And then I'll either thank them from the show, or we can put them in the program with a little ad or something, thanking them and their business for the support. And the rest, the other 150, because their money will pay my expenses. The other 150, if you give me a receipt, we'll call it a donation. That'll be my donation to your cause. Then you stop. They're either going to say, well, that sounds great, or they're going to say, no, we can't do that. If it's no, you say, well, I'm really terribly sorry. I just don't have enough money to incur that expense. I just can't do that. But I thank you for thinking of me. And hopefully, if we can work the budget thing out, you'll get a hold of me again. Don't you think that's way more professional? I do. If she says yes, great. Let's get the information. Let's get this down. And you're damn right you get a receipt. And you write on your taxes, I donated $150 to the Lions Club of Centerline, Michigan. What? But Nick, if you go look, that's not what they're saying. Everybody's got a smart ass. I don't work for free. Well, don't. But why would you burn the contact? Let's make them say terrible things about you. Because like I said, they're not going to say we messed up, even though they did. They're not going to say we didn't word the request appropriately. They're just not going to do that. Life doesn't do that. If you want $150, do it. If you don't want it, because you get $1,000 a night or some such bullcrap, well, then politely say, this is what I need minimum. I'm sorry, we can't come to terms. But just stupid. All right. Last week, we did the copper silver trick, and I forgot the first part. I don't forget now. Now, like I said, these don't give you that symbol feeling that the 50-cent piece and the English penny does. It's really cool because when you come up here and you have the girl lean in and you tap those, sounds pretty cool. Now, it makes no difference which one you do. You don't even need a table if you say, put both your hands out. But remember, our paradigm is drink in one hand, barbecued rib in the other, and no table. If that's the case, that trick cannot be done. You know what this is, Nick? This is TCC's Artisan Coin Series. And I got to tell you, those are as good as Johnson or Lawson or anything else. And oh yeah, buddy, that's the hopping half. And I don't need their hands. It's a Jimmy Swaggart trick. All you do is sit there and watch. But holy cow. And I would just go that way. But going back to the original one, we'll assume it's either in their hands or it's on the table. 2 coins. I always tell them, pick one. Whichever one they pick, I say, okay, let's say they pick the penny. Put the silver dollar down. Put the penny at the tip of your fingers, and you're going to finger palm it. And you take it and you toss it in the hand and point. Then you come right down and pick this coin up. So you're like this. You're about to do a Bobo switch. Now, if there's a table, do it on the table. If not, you can use your own hand. What a Bobo switch is I slide this coin at my fingers. It's tough with the silver dollar. And this hand is shot into thumb palm. And then I rotate my thumb and push up the other coin. So in other words, I basically rotate the coins. This one's here. Let me turn my hand a bit. And I come down. It's hard to look there and not pay attention there. Yeah, I wish I had dug out the 50-cent pieces. I still have no feeling in that thumb from the fall. But you hit, oh, I knew that was going to happen. No, that ain't it. No, that ain't it. I'm cleaning. But okay. So she said the English penny. You take the English penny. Now, this toss vanish, you need to practice that in front of a mirror about 100 times. Actually toss the coin. I really did it. But I'm going to tell you something. You're never going to know when I don't. The hand looks exactly the same because you toss and you immediately pick up the other coin. That's the reason to take that coin and put it over there. When in reality, nothing went in there. Now I Bobo switch. So I'll have this, and I just do it on the back of my hand. That's not the penny. Well, it is the penny. That's not the silver dollar. But they think the penny's in the hand. Notice the silver dollar is now thumb clipped. I rub, and there's the penny. And they're wondering what's in your hand. So you either dump the penny on the table, tell them to take it, but you get rid of the penny. Now watch, I'm up like this. I just got rid of the penny. I come up here to put my index finger on the back of my hand, up here. And all I do is push the silver dollar into my fist. I leave the finger there, turn it over like this, and the silver dollar is now in my hand. That's Carol's copper silver, which Roy Kissel hated. And I wasn't going to argue with Roy and say, Roy, you do know that I can't do Psycho Changeo everywhere I go because their hands are full. Questions, comments, good dirty jokes. Where would I go? Somebody else came in. Say hello. You're 30 minutes late, but say hello. Nick, I've got a hot rod, and the darn red one on that side is gone. Where would I look for another little jewel to fit in there? They want like $13 to $15 for these now. We used to sell them for $2 at the magic shop back before the earth cooled and dinosaurs roamed the earth. Oh, Nick, going back to the first thing. Hey, Sam. Going back to the first thing, Sam. I'm sorry, Nick. You didn't see the first thing, Sam. You can go to Amazon and get a real money clip. And you can put all this in the real money clip. And the other side holds credit cards. You get a couple of these dead cards and you shove those in there too. So it looks like you're giving them everything. And you toss it. Like I said, if they come after you rather than the money, then you know what this is all about. You may not be happy. You may not want to use deadly force to protect yourself, but you'd better. I have always said, for a long time, that the reason why most martial arts fail is because while the martial artist is doing some Kwai Chang Caine thing where they want to use just enough force to stop the assault, the other guy is thinking, I want to rip off your head and crap down your neck. But if you go to that level, they're going to say you overreacted unless you can prove what you missed, Nick. I'm sorry, Sam. Well, sometime next week, I'll take it out to Hobby Lobby or something and see if anybody there has any ideas. Sam, that looks like $100 and a wad of money. It's not. The top bill is a folded 10 that looks like $100. And this is just 20 $1 bills. If somebody is in our face, I don't care what they're yelling about. I want to kick your butt. Hey, you cut me off. Give me your money. Drop your pants. Whatever. You go into your pocket and say, this is all I got. Take it. Just leave me alone. And you toss it and you run the other way. You're not running far because hopefully you've got something on you to equalize this situation. As I explained to Nick, this Cold Steel Leatherneck Junior, that's not even 3 inches, and it's single-edged. So that's not illegal just about everywhere, unless you're in New Jersey or the land of fruits and nuts or something. But I like the fact that that edge is flat. So when you pull it out, and you pull it out this way, you put your thumb on that, and that's not going anywhere. And that Tonto point, that's going to go right through something, including a person. When I make the distance, I stop and turn. If they're coming, I sweep the arm out of the way, and I start popping. And I don't worry about it. Because if the cops or the prosecuting attorney wants to be a dick, I'm going to say, wait a minute. He could have gone after a pile of money. He chased me. I feared for my life. You want to indict me? Do it. But I'm going to ask for a jury trial. And all the people, let's say there's a racial element, who love to say, why did he kill my son over a television set or a car? He thought his stuff was more important than a human life. Hey, Bruce, I've seen it on the news dozens of times. If you do what I just said, you're going to say, excuse me, ma'am, I gave him my money. He could have gone that way. He went my way. He wasn't after my stuff. He was after me. And his choice was a fatal one. That's your fault, ma'am. I didn't raise him. Well, a lot of you guys are going to have to rewind it to see all this stuff. And as I said earlier, there's a reason why I say 10 $1 bills and one $10 bill that you fold to look like 100. $20 is enough for Mickey the Moke to get whatever fix he needs. He can buy crack with that. He can buy fentanyl with that. He can buy whatever pill. He can buy heroin. Doesn't matter. That's going to get him his fix. If, this really torques people off when I say this. He decided to live the law of the jungle. I didn't. I didn't go down the street and slap him. I didn't call him names. I didn't try to take his stuff. He felt, for whatever reason, since he's bigger and stronger, he can take what he wants. That's the law of the jungle. Except in that jungle, occasionally you find out that prey is actually a predator. Take a little look at honey badgers and wolverines. They are not big animals, but you watch who they back down. If you need, now, one thing, guys, if you buy the Leatherman Jr. and you want to put, Leatherneck, Cold Steel Leatherneck, it doesn't come with this belt clip. You got to buy the belt clip separate and you got to put it on. The first one of these I did took almost 3 hours and I invented new swear words. Bounced it off the walls several times. I would suggest you get a set. Oh gosh, no, I don't know where they got off to. You can get a set of these little screwdrivers and they're magnetic. You really need those. And that visor thingy that has the magnifying glasses in it. And then you just trust me. Those are spacers. The washers, I had to go to Home Depot and get more. You've got an outer screw, and the screw on the bottom is a tube that screw screws into. And you got to. But once you've done that, my advice, depending if you're right-handed or left-handed, and this is the only PPD you've got, you want it to go in the pants over your belt and then put your shirt over it. You want the edge on the outside because there's only one. I pop this and you're starting to grab me, I'm going to cut you to the bone. And you don't stop. It's a gross video. You're on YouTube. Look for surviving edged weapons. It's very old. It's 40 years old if it's a day. But we learned a lot of things from that. And one of the great things is when you watch, you're going to see hidden cameras filming the yard at a prison, and you will see prisoners training to kill cops. My uncle, who was also a judo master, used to say all the time, never forget the bad guys train too. And you see them, they're up against the wall, cop is starting to do his thing, and they pop off that wall, and everything they carry is a small knife. They don't want to get rearrested. And they pop for the neck. Bang, bang, bang. They use toothbrushes to practice. When I saw it 40 years ago, I said, you know, that's pretty straightforward. Finally, you all know what wild card the card trick is, right? And we all know that it's July now. HIV Pride Month is over. Oh, I wanted to post that as a meme. Whoa, Facebook would go nuts, trust me. HIV Pride Month. But it's time, Nick, really fast, I'm almost done. It's time to prepare those Christmas cards and your letter, Christmas in July, and start your mailings for your Christmas shows. This is from Paul Romney, and it's wild card. Now, yes, you have to have a table, but this version of wild card has copycat or happy faces, and it comes from Canada. You can see that little sticker. And you can do wild card with either happy faces, that's a sad one, I know, or with our copycats. So I can do a trick right there, and the kids are going to love it. If you add that, there's a coin thing that talks about bears. Very bad jokes, but I love it. Find some things for the kids. And Sam, you've got to get yourself a crystal silk cylinder. You can find them used. Nobody's doing Dove-Ax anymore. Sam, you tell the kids, would you like to know how Santa makes candy canes? You show red and white silks. Take the thing off, put them in there, put the thing down, lift it up, they're still in there. Oh, well, I guess Santa's getting a little old. They're supposed to be candy canes. Then, of course, you take them out, and there's really big candy canes. Now, guys, I can only tell you what I did 40 years ago. I haven't hunted this down. When you wanted candy, there was a specific wholesale place you would go to. Google is your friend. And they sold the little candy canes, guys, but they were in a strip. And the strip was like 6 foot. And I'd buy like 20 strips. Guys, a little square circle with all those strips. And instead of silks, you're pulling candy canes. Now, I was always an elf or a helper. So when Sam's sitting in the chair and the kids are coming up, I'm tearing off candy canes. If you make a special square circle based on what you see in the Mark Wilson course, I would have a book. You don't need the full thing. If you put the book this way and lift the outer box, they can't see the tube. It's still black art, and the book says Christmas stories. Again, Bronner's, there's a book. They have all these Christmas traditions and all of these ornaments from around the world that would go on the tree. I would have a little tree up there. Oh, look, it's the pickle. Have you ever heard about the Christmas pickle? Oh, and this is the spider. Oh, there's a great story about the Christmas spider. Sam, these are what you should be doing. And you tell these stories, and then you say, you should have candy canes on the tree. Show it empty. Did anybody bring any candy canes? Well, then, I'll bring some. It's all cool stuff, Sam. I think the story of the spider that was in the tree and came in and saw all the decorations and wanted to celebrate the birth of the Christ child, but didn't have any presents. So spun a beautiful ornate web all over the tree. And when Santa came in to deliver presents, he saw the web and was deeply touched. And so, touching his nose, he changed the web into silver. And that is why we put tinsel on the Christmas tree. If you come up here, Sam, we're going. Sam, I know Nick just left. You guys ought to talk, because maybe you can come up, and then you come up, Sam, because I think you're lower than he is. And you stop there and you jump in, and then you go over and get Steve Varro, and then the three of you jump in and you go the rest of the way and grab anybody else. Think about it. Guys, I love you. We're out of time. Svengoolie tonight is a dud. Play anything else. And as I always, any questions before we go? So then, until next time, turn blue, scratch glass. Just don't get caught. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.